what's happening? Welcome to my YouTube channel. For you guys who don't know me, which is everybody because it's brand new, so I'm Amanda, I am 36, I am a sole parent, an entrepreneur and a zillion other things just like everybody else. I absolutely love travelling, and since the pandemic and all this kind of stuff, travelling has slowed down, and since the world opened up again, I've been fortunate to be away, but it's always been with family members. So my son's birthday was coming up. Last year we had a soft play party and it cost a few £100, and he really wants to meet Spongebob. So I did my research, I found out Spongebob lives in Blackpool. I thought, right, I think we're going to be able to do this the same price as a soft play party. So this is what my first YouTube was going to be about. But I can't say that it's exactly going to be the aspirational sole parent dream of going down and doing it all in a budget. It's more of a warning to people, don't skimp too much on hotels and all of the other crazy things that happened to us in the 3 days down in Blackpool. So not so much an aspirational video, more of a warning, and lots of fun along the way. But I'm so happy in it, like I love it. But one thing that does trip me up is I am so fucking disorganised. There's no one there to kind of like just pick things up. I still like doing things that'll still get done, but it'll end up being a bit of a stressful experience. So if you're a planner, like you'll probably have a lot more success doing this trip than I did. So I got a £20, a 20% discount from PayPal for choosing booking.com. I thought, right, fantastic, like let's go in there and get 100 quid for a couple of nights at the hotel, and that's going to get the 20% off, like only £80 for the hotel. Banging, that's going to be amazing. But the voucher didn't work, so that just took a bit of time and things like this, and it wasn't for happening. So I went on to hotels.com, found a hotel that was like literally 300 yards. I'll try and show you here, 300 yards from the pleasure beach. Like we just wanted to be there all day, be able to go back and pass out after a day on the rides and everything like that. I had a bar in it, like pool table. I thought it's going to be quite busy. It's only £100 for the 2 nights. This is amazing. We're going to be able to do this all on budget. Thought fab, right, we've got the hotel sorted, that's £100, right, next up we're going to be getting the tickets. So I'd actually seen something on the Lidl Plus app that you get like free apps with their partners and things, and there's something called, if you're a parent in the UK you should definitely get it, like it's called the Kids app, or at least for the 3-month trial. I don't know how much it is after that, but on this ticket you get discounts to everywhere, like whether it's science centres, sea life centres, Alton Towers, like all the kind of things you do with your kids anyway, but you get like big discounts when you just book it through this app. So we downloaded that, and that got us like, I think it was like 10% or 15% off of both of our tickets. So we could get like a day there. Saturday was busier, so it was like £75, then it was going to be like £60 odd on the Sunday. But me being me, I thought I'll leave this, put this in the later pile, got enough stuff going on. Well, we'll deal with that when we go down there and get our tickets then. So it was the Friday, my son's birthday was on the Monday, didn't want to travel on his birthday, so we decided to go down on the Friday until the Sunday. There's supposed to be fireworks on at the weekend night, so we thought, oh, that's great, he loves fireworks. It's all going to fit in perfectly. Every sole parent, probably parents feel like this anyway, like when they're going on holiday, you just feel like an absolute boss. Like when you're like going down the motorway, you know that you're paying for everything yourself, kids are happy in the back, you just feel like you're killing it in life. So we stopped off and we had some snacks like on the way. Managed to leave early, not like me, so managed to beat most of the traffic, most of it. We left a couple hours later than expected, but still good. We got down there in about 4 hours, so that's fantastic. Then we pull up to Blackpool, and oh my god, nothing wrong with Blackpool at all, but where our hotel was, like fucking hell, like I was terrified. I got there and I phoned the hotel. There's no like driving about outside. If you've been to Blackpool you probably know the streets are tiny, and like you can't park anywhere without having to pay like 30 quid for the day. So I phoned the hotel and I was like, right, okay, it's like, hi, I'm Amanda, right, we're here, we're guests for tonight. Can you just tell us where your parking lot is? Because obviously you think it's going to be quite a decent sized hotel because it's got like a bar, like a pool table, like all this kind of stuff. I says, oh, we don't have that. You just need to try and find somewhere to park that's not got double lines on it, and it's not like owned by NCP. So my son's carrying the case because he's the sweetest wee guy ever. So he's carrying the case, it's literally like picking up rubbish with it. We get to the hotel and phone them, and then they come down because there's no 24-hour desk or anything like that to phone them for them to come and open it up. And it's very quickly realised, like, this street is fucking filthy. That it's probably not as good as what the pictures and reviews looked as, because I think it was like 4 stars rated for by families. Like, it was rated like really, really well. So it's like other families went there, they've had a good time, it's close to the pleasure beach, like it's cheap, win. So we're let in, and you can just see, like, when you go in, I think I've got a video, I'll try and link it up here. You're going in and this carpet doesn't look like it's been washed for, it doesn't look like it's been hoovered for months, literally months. And we get in the room and we're absolutely knackered, but we're hungry as well. So we don't want to go and just like settle right into the room and just kind of like chuck our stuff, realise like this is a bit of a dump, and get out of there. And then we went out in Blackpool that night. It was lovely. It was like the people were just the absolute nicest, the sweetest, so chatty, and giving us like free things in the arcades. We're having a good laugh. And then we even went to a chip shop, which was free refills on chips. I've never ever seen that in my life. So like, I don't know what it was called, but Blackpool it's flipping amazing. It's so cheap for food. So we've had a blast, realised where the pleasure beach is. I think this is just going to be amazing tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun. So we're just going to head back to the room and just kind of like just watch something on his tablet, watch a wee Disney movie and go to sleep, or some Spongebob. But then we get in the room and we actually start looking at it properly and realise like this is fucking filthy. They put on the radiator, and the radiator was literally like hanging off the wall. You could like pull it off the wall. The curtains were just filth on them. There was no bin in the bathroom. There wasn't even any soap. There was no soap in the place, and you know, you can just feel it. It was honestly like it was such a traumatizing place. Like even like the window wouldn't open when it was open, like above the bathtub. So like anybody could just like jump in our window as well. I know a lot of women who, like, when they travel by themselves are absolutely fine. Like my best friend Dawn, like she'd just like go to India and like get a taxi like for a random guy for 4 hours with no phone signal, like no bother. For me, I'm more of a kind of knife hid under the bed kind of person when I'm somewhere safe. I phoned the reception to like first ask for soap, which is they don't have any soap left. They're waiting on delivery. Are not willing to even go to the shop to buy soap. The rooms don't have soap, and that is fine with them. Then I phoned to discuss that the windows like wide open and people could just literally like walk in. There was no way to lock it, and I don't feel safe in the room with a 6 or 5-year-old in. And they just said, right, okay. It was honestly like the most stressful 2 hours because my wee boy just wanted to go to sleep, but I didn't feel safe enough to sleep there. So I just left him kind of relaxing, trying to not make it sound as like big a deal. Going into the disgusting bathroom. It sounds so snobby, but honestly, like this wasn't. It shouldn't have actually been legal for this to be a hotel. Like, is there no hotel standards in the UK? Like, I'm genuinely curious about that. Like, see, I like you need to have like hygiene standards for like restaurants and stuff like that. There doesn't seem to be that for hotels based on this experience. So anyway, they keep on phoning them. People say, yep, we're just going to check that out and phone it back. So the owner's away just now. We're not giving any refunds. There's no point in going to the police. Other people have tried that before. The police won't give you a refund. So obviously this is a recurring theme for them. And then I just got to the stage, thought, we're getting out, we just need to get out of here. It was like getting close to, I think it was like getting close to like 9:30 or 10 o'clock or something like that. So we literally just like said to them, look, you're not got, they said they didn't have any other rooms at this point. They didn't want to stay there anyway, we couldn't get a refund, so we just need to get out of here. So we just like walked like in my full leopard print pyjamas, wee boy in his wee Pokemon pyjamas, just down onto the beachfront. First hotel we got, and they were like, honestly, so lovely. They asked us why we were in our pyjamas, and we told them, and this woman was, oh, that's such a shame, like, we're going to give you like a great room like at the front so the boy can see all the lights, like in Blackpool there's just all the lovely wee light displays like all down the beach. So she gave us a room literally for £50, which was amazing. I think it's usually it was £100 or something, £90 it was showing on the websites and stuff, and that was on a Friday night. So she gave us that just for 50 quid, and just alright, just get in there and you'd be nice and safe. It was so lovely. Thankfully I hadn't booked this hotel direct, what I thought about, because they said you could get it cheaper, and I thought no, I'll book it through like a booking platform, and that way you've got that extra level of security, so I'm so glad I did. And when I phoned booking.com, so like their customer service literally, like it's not like just you're going through all the different like help pages, you literally just go into chat, put your number, and within about 10 minutes somebody would phone me back. The service was unbelievable. Told them everything that happened and just all the different things in the hotel that was wrong, talked them through everything, and it was actually like, despite everything that was going on, the easiest way they could get my money back was because they didn't have Wi-Fi, they didn't have the amenities advertised, so that was the simplest way for them to be able to, even though I wasn't staying there and they said there was no refunds, they actually managed to get me that refund that night, which was it took a few days to process, but they were like so apologetic, and they didn't just give us the refund, like just over £100 for a couple of days at £103, gave us all that back, and then they also gave us a £50 voucher and to apologise for the experience that we'd had. So that's what I'm thinking, yes, like I'm actually going to be able to do this on budget now, like I'm up 50 quid, like it's not going so bad now, I've got a nice hotel, I'm going to have a good sleep. It was raining basically everywhere, like torrential rain in the UK. I had people like fans from London, like people up here, so you know it's pouring up here, it's pouring down there. Hope you guys still have a good weekend and stuff like that. But for some reason Blackpool was bloody beautiful that day. We were just so lucky. So we got up, we got our cases and everything, we stored them away. We couldn't book that with our voucher with our hotels, like it was going to take like a week to process, like our refund, and the £50 voucher was in hotels.com, and we couldn't book that hotel through hotels.com, so we couldn't get that on the second night, unfortunately. Just doing an outfit check, really excited, really like wearing quite casual, like leather joggers, which I really loved, so really nice and comfy, and a big black winter jacket, and I thought it was good for getting wet in the rides and things like that. Be nice and dry, my trousers were just dry, it was like buzzing that morning. We walked along, got a McDonald's, and we're there like half hour early, so we didn't want to wait, so that's amazing. And Blackpool in October, guys, like I am not joking, like you should definitely, if you're going to be going down there, I've heard about like big 45-minute queues and things like that. We were at Disney earlier in the year, and it was like literally a 2-hour queue we waited on for one ride for Nemo. This one we were on, I'll try and like show you some videos here. The whole like Nickelodeon land, and a wee boy like got to meet Spongebob straight away. Like again, if you've been to Disney like recently, Disney Paris, like it was big queues for characters that weren't actually just the shit ones, you know, like Mickey and stuff like that, like the ones they actually want to meet. But we just heard like over the channel, like Spongebob came right out, and then you could get a photo, like you weren't allowed to take photos at first, it had to be in this wee thing, so he was like so delighted. That was like the present he got from me that weekend. That was the only thing I was getting him, just one thing he could choose, and then he had to spend the money too. So really delighted with him, like 17 quid, and got to meet Spongebob straight away, which I can't imagine it'd be like in the summer, but October, like that is the time to go there. And this Spongebob ride, like we were soaked, like we were like soaked to the core. Instantly, this Spongebob ride, it was flipping amazing. It was like 6 different people that could go on one space, but it was so quiet you could have literally the whole one of them to yourself, and you didn't even need to go back and go out and queue. You could just stay on rides over and over and over again in Nickelodeon land. So I had an absolute ball. Everything that he wanted and more. Got to meet Spongebob, got to go on all the Spongebob rides. Halfway through the day we went on the one ride that did happen. So we went on 2 rides with the queue actually, but one of the biggest ones was just cars, so you're just going about and you're like kind of driving a little bit. So big massive queue, and I had my pleather trousers on, as I'd said. These are my favourite trousers because they're a wee bit fancy but casual too, nice and flattering. And yeah, and I sat down on this ride, and the queue's like all the way like up right in front of me over the thing, and she turned and my trousers, I'm like fuck. And because we'd left stuff in a random hotel, I'm like literally lugging about like the laptop, my laptop, my tablet, like I sometimes need to work because I work for myself, so I just put my laptop down just in case there was any like emergencies. So anyway, so I've got all of this like in his bag, like crunched over the whole time. Anyway, so luckily I had that there, and I'd heard my trousers split, so I put that like over me a little bit because there was like all this folk. And then like, you know, like when you just give yourself a wee check, like I don't know if any of you have ever split your trousers before, but I put my hand down a wee bit to see what the situation was, and I'm not joking. I'll show you when I'd like set my camera up so I could actually, and took a video so I could actually see how much it was split. So luckily I had a bodysuit on. I don't know why I never usually have a thong on it. I would have had my arse totally out. Luckily I had a bodysuit on. And extra lucky because my wee boy thought it was funny to be pulling my jacket up to show everything. We had an amazing time at the park. Food was so cheap. Like honestly, even like inside the park, you could like all you can eat pizza for like £11 and stuff. But we didn't see that until after we ate. We ended up just getting like chips and halloumi fries and things, and it was like 16 degrees as well. The end of October, like so warm, amazing. It's just 10 out of 10 for like Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It was such a good day. But we still didn't have a hotel. We were stuck in a random hotel. And all of our devices on my back, so like at lunch I had to sit and kind of go through my phone and like still trying to be like in this budget. I'd seen one that I'd actually looked at previously before, and it was in like this big castle and it had a pool. We never swim and stuff with us though because we weren't prepared for it. Pool, like it just looked absolutely unbelievable. So and it was only because we were booking like a few hours before that night, like we could literally check in at that time. It was so cheap as well, so that was only, I'll check this back on my receipts and I'll put it up there, but I want to say that was like £45 or something like this. And then with the kind of taxes and fees, I had to pay over my £50 budget. I think it was like £8 more. So flipping amazing. So at this point, we have paid for all of our hotels for the 2 nights for, I think it was £58 it cost us in hotels for the 2 nights. So we got back to the original plan of trying to do it within the budget of £300. And when we got to this hotel, it was honestly, it was huge. Like it was like the biggest hotel like I don't know if I think I've ever been to. It was ginormous, and it had like a dancing competition on, so it was all like hustle bustle, all go. Won't go too much into the night. We just get checked in. It was a fine hotel, not good, not bad. It was fine for what we paid, the £8. It was great for £8. Not too much into the night, but we just kind of went down. We seen the Blackpool Illuminations, which is quite old fashioned, I'd say. It probably looked really good. All of Blackpool had that vibe that it was like it would have been great like 50 years ago, and it seems a bit untouched by then. Probably when people started going abroad to Spain, I imagine. It was great, like great for kids. We've seen the Blackpool Illuminations and then ended up spending a wee bit more in the budget and ended up getting Lomond, the little kind of swords that you could like have in the dark. And then we were going to go for an Italian, but they just looked too fancy for how tired he was. And by the time we were waiting 45 minutes for food and things like this, because they were busy, I thought that's just going to be an absolute nightmare. We'll just get a takeaway, go home, be well rested for the next day. That's what we did. I still had to do a wee bit of work. I work on social media, so unfortunately things like TikTok and things like this, you cannot post, like you cannot schedule your posts if you want to attach them to sounds. So whenever I'm travelling and stuff like that, so I'll need to jump on and physically do a bit of work to get some posts out where you can't schedule them properly on the various platforms. So I just did that probably about 11 o'clock at night, and then we went to bed. I went to bed. He was obviously asleep before then. We got up the next day and absolutely pumped. We realised it was torrential rain, like absolute torrential rain, blowing a gale, which is just horrendous when you're on the beach. Everything was just... Lomond was already like the cat who'd got the cream because he'd got to meet Spongebob, he'd got his wee photo thing, he was just like so delighted with it. He was already pumped, like he had like the best day ever. So I said to him, look, we can go to Blackpool Pleasure Beach if we like, but we're going to be absolutely soaked and freezing. And he'd seen the weather and it says, look, we'll see what else is on down here. Loads of things on in Blackpool. So he decided he just wanted to go to a trampoline park that had a ninja zone. So we had the breakfast and then we headed off and we just went and we did our trampolining. I did our trampolining and went to the ninja zone and things like this. I wasn't going to do the full 2 hours. I've unfortunately, I did it to myself. 3 stones in the last about 1.5 years. Brutal. It's just through working too much and not taking care of myself. nothing else apart from that. I work got really busy and I just ended up working through the night. And for me, when when I'm working too much, if I don't go to sleep at about 10 o'clock and I'm having to fuel myself through for working, I've just got a very bad habit that I'll just start eating. And when you've got kids, you've obviously always got snacks in the cupboard. So yeah, just put on a lot of weight and hadn't been taking care of myself properly. So anyway, so he says I won't do the full 2 hours. You do the first hour and then I'll do the next hour with you. So we did that. I'll put the price up here because I can't remember off the top of my head. So I think that was about another 30 quid possibly. We'll total it all up at the end. And that was it. So he was happy as anything. He was tired, excited to go home, excited because his birthday was on the Monday, and then we just drove up the road and it was just lovely. So he just sat and watched Sing 2, listened to the music of that, basically the whole 4 hours home. And I was glad that we didn't go to the pleasure beach that day because it would have meant we'd been driving home for 4 hours in the dark, in the rain, which would have actually been quite, I wouldn't have liked that very much, up kind of windy roads up to my house, like the last kind of hour. That's kind of like country roads we had to done, and that would have been horrible for me. So I ended up happy the way it worked out, and we got home in I think 4 hours, even with stopping having a wee snack as well. So the price of a party at Pirate Pete's or Kids Play or one of the soft plays around our way was going to be about this, and we managed to do a trip down to Blackpool for the weekend. My son got to meet his hero, a few near-death experiences flung in there for good measure. Some split trousers, and we got all that for this. So don't know if this was as aspirational as it was supposed to be, and I think we went over budget as well. But if you're a sole parent and it's putting you off going on holiday by yourself, you maybe usually go with your partner, you can totally do it. But I would 100% advise you to plan a wee bit more in advance and do more digging on the hotels than I did. If I'd looked further into that hotel on other sites, I'd have seen like lots more photos and reviews and things like this, and I wouldn't have booked it. And I just went on that one site and it said like, it had like 8-9 stars for families, and I would not do that again. And even if you do go and you make the mistakes, like you still get through it, and it was still like that. Still just, you just laugh about all of the stories after it. Like it's not, I think, oh god, I wish. It's just funny experience. And Lomond looks back at it, it's funny. One of the highlights was him for me was me ripping my trousers. Like that was hilarious for him as well. So we had a great weekend. So I hope you enjoyed my first YouTube video, and thank you so much for watching. If you want to give us a like, I'd love it, or a subscription, and we'll have more kind of sole parent videos on here, and then maybe me trying to lose that 3 stone, maybe not, I don't know, we'll see. Have a great day, bye.